2 salads and 2. So I will need some help. I have excellent help. Atticus, Everhart, and his sister Laura Everhart.
2 of our junior master gardeners.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are going to grow up to be very master gardeners. And speaking of that, Connie, Benny is really bugging me. If you can find out about that.
I will.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm going to start with, and they'll bring a tray around with the samples. Here's our first appetizer. And just a little background on some of these foods that I'm doing. This is one that I did when I was newly married, and I had a little catering in Salt Lake City. And I catered for the Mormon Tabernacle Choir when they had guests come in. And it was just so much fun. And I kept up with that. And then when my kids got to be about this age, they would go with me and cater. And one night, I could not find my daughter. I found all 3 boys. We were in this huge building and couldn't find her. And I had round tables set up with 120-inch, so they were clear to the ground. And we were getting so worried, where was that girl? So we started taking off the tablecloths, and she curled up under the table and was asleep. So, this first one has lemongrass. Are you familiar with lemongrass?
I've got the lemongrass and I don't know what to do with it.
All right, well, here's
It's
one,
growing like
a recipe.
crazy.
Yeah, a recipe, I'm gonna, a recipe, and I'm afraid it's a little too strong. So I apologize if it's too much for you. Okay, guys, you want to bring the black tray again and let's change out. I need you to change out the stuff. Anyway, it's just a mixture of deli meats and cheeses, and I used Monterey Jack cheese, and just really finely cut. And it has asparagus in it, and it has a green onion. And for the creamy sauce, it's a little tiny mayo, a little tiny sour cream, and a little more yogurt than the other 2. And the seasoning was with lemongrass. So if you don't like it, don't worry about it. Just leave it there, and we'll donate it to if anybody has any animals around here.
Jan, are the asparagus cooked in there? You use cooked asparagus?
No, everything's fresh.
Okay.
There's only one thing that I'll let you guys, you can give them a long plate. Atticus, you will get them a long plate. The only thing that I really like today is the natural foods and whole foods.
Thank you, sir. I think we have 2 there. Thank you.
And the next thing is salad, and it's
Thank you.
it's Kathy Mary's recipe about corn, and I really can't pronounce
Do you want to hold up that book that you're using? It's over here somewhere, isn't it? The cookbook?
Is this recipe in that book?
Yes. No, that one isn't with the tomatoes, but there it is. This next corn recipe, yeah,
It's in this book?
yeah. And
The Junior Master Gardener 2019 cookbook.
yes,
And can we still get copies of this?
yes, you can.
At the Extension office?
At the extension office.
Okay.
$10 donation.
$10 donation for this book. And it's at the Extension office. $10 donation put together by recipes from our Junior Master Gardeners. And the next recipe that Jan's talking about came from this book.
But you don't use a lot of leaves, right?
No, that's what's in here, the lemon,
Well, I'd read when I was going to use the lemongrass, that you don't use the actual leaf, you use you cut the bark,
Oh,
if you
you
will,
use
and open that up,
Oh.
and cut that up.
Right.
Okay.
And it's very, very strong, and it's also very good for cleaning. I've added in all of my cleaning products.
Really?
there you go.
Very good.
If I had a lot, I'd be putting in a bunch of cleaning products.
Okay, so this is the little tomato thing.
And corn. Oh, the tomato.
Yeah. And we're having a special drink that is limeade.
It's limeade, it's
No,
actually
you don't
called
use the
cucumber
leaf.
punch. It's
You're supposed to
limeade,
cut off the
diet
stalk, if you will,
drinks,
and then you have to open it up.
all diet, and a little almond with cucumbers. Almond flavored.
Almond flavoring and cucumbers. Okay. Okay, so now we've tried this little. Thank you.
And,
And this is the corn.
and look up canned salads, Leslie. This turned out to be my favorite salad of
It's all mine.
2019. And it's under salads.
Okay.
And then you tell me how to pronounce it.
What's in it?
It's all fresh ingredients, corn, sweet peas, red onions.
Hey, so that Kathy Merrick recipe you said?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Where is it?
a Megan set?
How do you say that?
A Megan set?
Yeah, I think it's a location.
A Megan set corn salad.
Okay, let me show that on camera. This is the corn, that's why we're butchering the name, a Megan set corn salad. And it has white corn, cherry tomatoes, balsamic vinegar, red onions, and sugar snap peas.
Right. And, balsamic vinegar.
And balsamic vinegar, okay.
And it has no other additional things, you can swap it out, change it out. But it goes so good with any type of meats. It's just really refreshing.
Mmm.
Should have had some of those cookbooks. I would have bought a cookbook for my cookbook collection.
So what do you think?
Good.
Jack?
I can make a meal on this.
Yum.
Let me try.
And it's, the corn is just cut right off the top, so it's raw corn.
Raw corn.
So did everybody get some? Okay, good. We can do bigger portions.
And we also have some extra if any of you want some.
Thanks, Nora.
So this corn is just like,
One
Cut off
thing
the
that
top.
I have
You'll
found, and
help
this
you
is
all
really
right.
good.
I know, right?
What?
We're already feeling healthy.
not frozen.
Good. I wanted to show people good finds at the grocery store. You ever seen this at H-E-B? That's the only place I found it. It's
Olive oil?
Rustico, unfiltered extra virgin olive oil. It is delicious, and you won't find it in the aisle. You'll find it by where they cook over
Oh,
like
yeah.
the meats and stuff. And I was in there and the lady
Oh,
said
that's
to me,
good.
you're buying the
That's
wrong
good.
thing. And I said, what? And she said, she picked up a bottle. She says, you cook a lot. This is what you want.
Oh.
It's just got a rustic taste and it's wonderful. And now it's got it last year from 1916 to 2016 was 100 years.
And it's over there where the rest of the oils are? No.
Where they do demonstration.
The demos.
Oh, the demo. Oh, so
And it's on
Where do they put it, where do you find it?
HEB.
HEB where they do the demos.
Like where they do
Where
the
they used to
demos.
do the
cooking food.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know, they have the chefs
Yeah.
there.
Trader Joe's, they're,
Do they have it too?
they have their own brand of the same type of olive oil, the extra EPO. It's very good for cooking. It's not so bitter, it's a cold press. And it's hard to find, so I'm glad that's a close one because
Yeah.
it's hard to find them that aren't bitter.
And I just looking for it. HEB's gone into making their own olive oil and stuff. I guess you know. Okay, so I'm going because I have nothing to really show how to cook. Was gonna show you my favorite salad and how quickly it puts together when you got company coming and you have a few kids hanging around. So you brought this home from the grocery store of the herbs. We're just gonna put that in and that can go in the trash.
That's just a mixed greens.
Mixed greens, and I usually do the one with spinach. Yeah, this has spinach in it. This is the way I got my kids to eat healthy, was to disguise it in the salad. So, I'm gonna entertain you with my stories of my son. He's been on my mind so much that he's quite an interesting kid, very smart for his age. At 4 years old, he'd get up, and he lived in Utah, so it would be snowing in like March, April, and even into May. And he'd get up and he said, Mom, there's gonna be an economy disaster because all of the snow is affecting the Mexican earth and everything. But he was always worried about the economy and stuff. And then, this is a perfect time to tell things so I can work faster. Anyway, he and his dad had gone camping and they brought home some snakes. And my husband grew up in LA, so he didn't know kind of what snakes they were. So he just thought they were garter snakes or water snakes. Anyway, he said, we'll put them in the aquarium and snakes can't crawl. So, a couple weeks later, I had all the women over for a Bible class. And I go in there, and one of the snakes is missing. And I started looking around, and I called him, and he says, no, snakes can't crawl. So I looked around, and I warned the ladies that there might be a snake crawling out. Don't get too upset. So he came home that night, and the snake's name was Streaker. He says, here's Streaker. He was lying on the very edge of the bunk bed, the top bunk bed, just right along that edge of the bunk bed. And yes, snakes can crawl. So, and another story with Streaker was, we had gone to church, and we lived quite close to the church. So, we walked over, and as we came out, we heard this woman screaming, the snake! a snake. Well, Dave says, don't turn around. It's gotta be one of our snakes. So he just says, keep on walking. And then Mike was with us. Of course, he ran back. He says, Dad, it's Streaker. And Streaker, the reason he knew it was Streaker because he'd been bit by a cat. And Mike had put a Band-Aid on him. So he got this big snake with a Band-Aid on it. So he was always trying to make money and be an entrepreneur and wanted to create a black gerbil because that he could make more money with that. So he was very, very savvy and loved traveling. His wife did too, and that's what was really fun. So I just use sliced up strawberries, and then we're putting grapes. Want to put some blueberries in there too. These have all been rinsed.
What is that, Jan?
Pecans. Whole pecans.
Cinnamon pecans or just fresh pecans?
Not glazed.
No.
Sometimes for the celebration of glazing and stuff. You see the avocados?
Over here in the bowl, the green bowl at the end.
Anyway, this salad goes together pretty quickly, and now it's back in style. I even called Lighthouse to see if you could get this, it's called pear gorgonzola.
Pear gorgonzola.
Oh, that sounds good.
Well, I found this at Brookshire Brothers,
In town.
in town. I couldn't believe it because they told me it was on the,
Berkshire Brothers, I agree.
anyway, this is
Delicious, huh?
absolutely delicious.
I am getting lots of ideas for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. This goes over really well with people. And also, when I do pretend cooking, make up a recipe. For example, lox and bagels. You know what lox and bagels is? Well, lox and bagels is a bagel sandwich with salmon, cream cheese,
Good stuff.
capers, tomatoes. Anyway, I adapted it to a pasta dish. So my bread was pasta, angel hair pasta. And I cooked the salmon and then just broke it up in pieces with broken tomatoes, capers, and cheese. I used the crumbled cheese and this dressing. And it's really good. So, this will be your salad. And you can see what you think of this dressing. It's a little bit more. And if you'll get these cups, guys, we have enough. Do you want a bigger cup of salad?
Sure. Whatever you think is great.
Okay. Why did you get the black one? Is there a little bit bigger? Right by the fresco. Anyway, with just some avocados.
And we'll say hi to everybody that's watching online.
Oh, they are watching online?
Yeah, we have 5 people right now watching.
Well, hi, 5 people online. Do we deliver?
If you were here with us, you could be eating this.
Expertly done.
Okay, so now we'll send Atticus out with salad and Nora out. I'll use my hand. You can go with her and couple of them. Yeah. It's so fun to Buzz. So fun to work with, huh? Yeah. That's good.
Oh, hi, Mom. My mom's watching.
Oh, is she? Have we made any mistakes yet?
Have no clue.
What are you doing that through, Facebook or? So anybody in the world could pick up on it and be watching it, really? How interesting.
Except for in China. Forbidden.
For those of you that tuned in late, this is Jan and her two grandsons who are our junior master gardeners. Grandchildren, excuse me, one son, one girl. And she is cooking with vegetables. And so far, we've had a wonderful punch. It's cucumber punch, but it's got lime in it and diet soda, and it's awesome. And we've had, well, you can't really tell from my cup because it's pretty gone, but we had a corn salad, and now we're going to have a tossed salad that Jan is putting together here with strawberries, blueberries, pecans, and avocado. And gorgonzola cheese with a special pear gorgonzola dressing.
Taste of vision.
Let's
right?
start doing this every week up here. I like this.
You're up next. What are you cooking?
Oh, yeah, what's next?
Well, if this goes over well, I thought we could move into entrees.
Oh, okay.
Vegetables as entrees. Okay, guys. Now you should have a fork in your little packets.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any packets, just tell me and I'll get you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. And here is some of my salad. Looks great. I'll tell you how great it is in just a minute.
Thank you.
Hey, son, when you do mine, make mine about that much, okay? I don't need a lot of salad.
Okay.
I don't wanna waste it. That's too much, that's too much. Just a little.
Okay, I'm putting in fruits. Is that okay?
Perfect, thank you, thank you.
Mmm.
Let's try this.
You taste that dressing?
Mmm. That dressing is awesome.
I know. So I was so thrilled when I saw it back in the store. Nope, don't push it down. Stay back to comments and back to Renee.
So you just whip this salad up, Jan, for family for no reason at all?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a standard.
I am glad my husband is not here.
This is delicious.
Does anyone have a fork?
Have a hard time getting kids to eat healthy things, so disguising it in a salad.
That's quite delicious, Jan.
Desperation.
Jan's desperation salad.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now it's gonna be kind of a shift of a gear. Because, ooh, you mind getting that soup?
Sorry, what,
The soup you took into the house.
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
The soup you took into the house. The
Oh,
pot.
The thing I took in there?
Yes,
Okay.
please. Okay, I have
Sorry.
to tell you,
Sorry with that mask, I already have a hard time hearing her.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Take it off.
No, that's fine, not for my account. No. I'll be right back.
The background, this is gazpacho. And everybody's heard of gazpacho. But when I was first married,
Hey, honey.
48 years ago,
All your stuff is blowing away.
people didn't know what gazpacho was. But we had some friends that had moved from Spain. And gazpacho is just the end of the kitchen, the fridge. They just put everything in some kind of broth. And it wouldn't necessarily be this, but this is the recipe that they gave me. And so it is over 48 years old. And there's only a few changes I've made to it, but people seem to like it. If you like vegetables, we're gonna serve you that now. So this time, let's go with the little white cups like this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4. Here we go. Doing great. And it's nice not to be so worried about a big crowd.
What kind of cheese is this, Jam?
In the salad, gorgonzola. It's the same thing that's in the dressing.
Is that a blue cheese, gorgonzola?
It's a milder
Okay.
blue cheese.
Because it doesn't taste like what I'm used to, that's why I was
Yeah.
curious.
It's, okay. So,
Might have to buy some of that.
I think it's going to go on my grocery shopping list.
it's going where?
That cheese just.
On my
goes with your
shopping list.
salad. That's really good and it's not too strong.
Yeah. Okay, this is served cold. And the only thing is in here that's cooked is I blanched the tomatoes so that they're skinless. Sometimes tomatoes and also cucumbers, they have a tart or a bitter that I take off both. And it makes it much milder. The other thing I changed is that the basic recipe calls for
Thank you.
red wine vinegar. And I changed it because my daughter says she doesn't like it at all because it is too sour, tart, I don't know. And so I changed it to raspberry blush vinegar, and now they'll eat it. It's just a sweeter,
Sweeter soup.
yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we get the recipes after the.
Yeah, that's in the little book.
Then there's the
Oh,
soup.
It's in the Master Gardening book? Okay. I need my $10 to get my book.
There's some,
Spoon fell on the counter.
it's full, okay. Look in the.
What do you need?
Never mind. What is that? Go ahead.
No, I need the recipe.
And another thing is on this recipe, you're supposed to do the broth the night before, then you cut up your vegetables. But I had only had broth and vegetables all together. And then I stored it vertically,
Hey, young man.
which helps all of the vegetables get marinated. And
Got it.
so none of them turn brown. So that's a little tip on this.
Kind of like Louisiana's jambalaya, we just throw everything in there,
Yes,
so
and
it's like
that's from
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah,
It's the same concept. You like avocados?
it's good.
Okay,
Definitely.
here's another one, Nora.
The animal was looking for another salad dressing.
Huh?
The salad dressing is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always looking for another salad dressing, so
Yeah.
I'll be trying this one next. Try to get my husband to try it. It's not too sweet. He likes the raspberry.
Make
kind
sure
of-
check this
but
one.
a
So
lot of
Jen,
times
this,
it comes-
this gazpacho, they're all raw vegetables when you put them in here? And how long do you have to let it sit? Did I miss that part of your?
Just the next day.
Oil in
Really?
there.
Just a day?
Sit down first.
Possibly oil in there. It's not too
This
much
is quite
sugar,
delicious to
not too
have.
much salt.
Can you keep it, you know, like canned stuff? Probably not.
Run out of room here.
But the thing is,
I'll give you these two, thank you. I'll have a spoon.
Because of the avocados, you think?
yeah, but in the summertime when it's really hot, some shrimp, you could put some baby shrimp in there,
Mm.
Oh, that sounds great.
or, yeah, or, cilantro, and a big bowl with crusty
Red
garlic
crusty,
bread.
oh, yeah.
It is really good.
Well, we are good. Go back and.
Yeah, we're all gonna go show up at Jan's house. When it's really hot, I'm gonna show up at Jan's house for,
Is this gazpacho
Food.
night?
yeah.
Gazpacho night, yeah. And when we'd go to the beach, we'd make a big batch of gazpacho and eat it for the whole week. It's just
Man.
so good. Okay, so we are on our salad round, soup round. And can you bring me that pan, Atticus? Now, here's my latest experiment. I went with a friend to Mexico. It's just over the border, and just when the COVID was getting bad, and so she had to go down to a doctor 1 mile over the border. So this doctor, can you put it right here? Ooh, it's hot. This doctor, you know, told us about this poblano soup.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, okay, let's have this poblano soup.
Recipe.
And I went, oh my heck, you couldn't get the recipe, the guy wouldn't give it. We went to the restaurant, we had more than enough servings so I could try and figure out all the things that were in it. Well, here's my best laid effort. So, roasted poblano soup. And it's a good thing because, the lid's,
Vacuum sucked on.
yeah.
Well, I've never had that happen.
I mean,
Oh.
Come.
Harvey, you wanna give it a try?
I'll try.
Never saw a lid stick like that.
yeah,
If you can get it to turn, you can usually get it to pop.
yeah. Turn it,
Try to turn it.
yeah.
Just stick a knife in the edge.
There we go.
Oh, good job.
Just create a good little vacuum on it.
Yeah,
didn't
it
it?
did.
Yeah. Strong back.
Okay, so for this, let's get the black nuts. Oh, yeah, those, Nora. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, that was the most vegetables I've had in lunch in a long time.
And nowadays, they're talking about vegetable proteins
Yeah.
instead of meat
Meat proteins.
proteins. That you can have a lot more food with vegetable proteins. So, this, and just, you know, if you don't like it, that's fine. And it tastes probably 80% like, maybe even 90% like the recipe did. Anyway, the thing is, when I tasted it, did you see another? I like the texture of it. So get your spoons out now. Yeah. So, have you ever used this cheese, anybody?
I've seen it, I don't know what it tastes like. Mexican
It's,
cheese?
Yeah.
It's good. Oops. It's a very mild.
Is it like a mozzarella?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does melt down. Okay, so I'm sending this out kind of sloppy.
Okay, we'll have a video of what the soup looks like. Okay, this is what the soup looks like.
And the whole idea is that it's very creamy, but is not creamy with flour. What do you think I thickened it with?
Cheese. Nope, cornstarch?
Tapioca.
Tapioca?
Good guess.
I missed
Those are good.
cornstarch.
No?
No,
Beans, any kind of beans or peas or something?
white beans.
White beans?
White beans, okay.
If it gets cold, I might actually have some red beans for dinner.
Did you get one?
Those red
Oh,
beans are nice.
yeah,
So good.
thank you.
Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I first looked at it, I thought, okay.
I know.
But tasting it, it's really good.
Is it too spicy?
No, I like it.
Oh, boy,
It's really good.
yeah. Yep, that's good.
Good.
Well, not working next year when we have this class.
Is this particular recipe? No, this recipe she came up with.
Oh, yum.
That's why I chose
Green eggs and ham.
Do we have lids for these little containers?
Yes, we do. There's not that much and some of them flew away, but yeah, we do.
Give us
Yeah. Corn itself.
You want to try this? Oh, good, Atticus. Make my day. Ooh, watch yourself. Gonna put cheese in it. That's my cheese.
It's got a little bit of a bite, but not much.
Did you get some?
I'm still getting.
Very nice flavor.
It is. That's a very nice flavor.
And I learned a lot about poblano peppers in this quest. That on the chart, it is right at the bottom, not very spicy.
Oh, yeah.
But if the more you do of it, makes it spicy. So with poblanos, if you cook it, people don't typically cook with it because it doesn't enhance anything, because it's not spicy. So if you add a pepper into it, you want the spice. So, anyway, so they said you have to be really careful with the soup so that it doesn't, if you use too many peppers, it'll get too spicy and lose that. Actually, poblanos are kind of sweet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that what's making the sweetness, is the poblano?
Yeah, it's just poblanos. It's not, have a lot of stuff in it.
So what's making it the spicy?
Good question.
You must put some jalapenos or, wait a minute. Nope. What's those orange peppers?
No.
The little pepinos, the little.
Is that funny? Because it's really the spice of the poblanos because of the quantity of them. And so I brought it up because I was worried if I'd have enough. That it has the white bean, and the white bean was, and canned white beans.
Oh, that is really good.
Not cooked in another.
I love that.
Yeah. So, it's, the white canned beans had a little bit of jalapeno in it.
Oh.
And it carried through,
They did carry through.
yeah,
When I first looked at it, it was gonna be a green pea type
I
soup.
know. And you know, sometimes when you see green peas, you kind of think, ooh.
Jan, have you always enjoyed cooking?
I love cooking.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah, I was from a big family, so cooking was always available.
You know, maybe that's why I like it. I'm the oldest of 7 kids and I've enjoyed cooking my whole life, you know, and I think it's just because I've cooked my whole life, you know,
Yeah,
so it just comes natural.
yeah, that's exactly.
That is good and spicy.
Yeah, and the more you eat it, the little hotter it gets.
Yeah,
It's like that spice coming through on it.
yeah, I do too.
Man,
Is this in the book?
oh, I need
I'm
to.
still inventing this one. Give me a couple more months.
Oh, I
I've
would love
been
this.
working on it
So I
since.
wanted to see what she put.
This would be a great before dinner appetizer type.
Right, and they say that, all the recipes I looked at, that you know, what you put on the top, and if I would have had sour cream, you know,
Make a little
like
swirl.
swirl with a little dot of, hot pepper, you know, like
Sriracha
Tabasco
or something like that.
Yeah,
Tabasco.
just dots on it to heat it up, but you have to know your audience. You know,
Yeah,
'cause it
well,
can
you,
get-
yeah.
Well, could you please hurry up and get the recipe?
At the grocery store across from the courthouse, that Mexican grocery store,
Yeah.
I've seen that in there.
That's what they use. and
Yeah, they
that's-
use that to regular Mexican cheese.
Right, and that's what they used at the restaurant in Mexico.
Yeah.
Could you please hurry up with the recipe because we're coming to winter?
Wait a minute. No, keep going. Keep going.
I tell you what, we don't have to go any further, this is just fine.
Well, I mean, I want the recipe so I can make it again before winter's over. I don't really want to make this when it's 120 degrees outside, but
The last thing is
Yeah,
desserts,
just push the white thing.
and, yeah,
I think it's over here.
Post that one.
I put the pillow on it because the aluminum foil was blowing away.
You had a friend.
did you like it? Yay, Atticus liked it.
Good deal.
What happened?
No, not yet.
He liked the poblano soup.
Oh, wow,
Great. And the next time your grandmother makes it, would you call me up?
yeah.
And they can come over and have it with you.
We'll be your testers for.
Really, anytime you want to like see if the recipe's doing okay.
I used 7 poblanos, the biggest ones I could find.
Just roasted them on like your fire, your
I
gas
just did them
fire.
in the oven. Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's the money.
You know how to roast them on, you can, if you have a gas flame, you can just roast them over the flames, but you have to watch it. So I'm the lazy one. I put, parchment paper down cut them in half, scoop out the seeds and the stem, and then drizzle some of my yummy olive oil on it. And at like 375 for 25 to 30 minutes, and you turn them, until they start to blister. And as soon as they blister, you take it out, and as soon as it's cold enough that you can handle it, the skin just comes right off, and you pull it off. That's the time consuming. That's what I'll train these children to do. So, anyway.
Then what's your base liquid you add to that?
See, that's what I was saying. How did you get the texture so it wasn't runny? And, but then I started reading for thickening things. You know how we were all guessing the different thickening stuff without taking away from
Flavor of
the flavor of the guano. And so finally I started recognizing white beans. And I shouldn't, if I do it again, I won't use, I just didn't know I'd gotten a can with bacon. You know how there's a can with bacon and there's a can with jalapeno. Yeah, we need to have done that. And so I did a batch of white bean soup and then a batch of guano soup. And, if I was to make this much again, I'd probably have to have 20 guano peppers. But anyway, I just took some of the soup in until I thought it was the right texture. It wasn't a whole batch.
It's delicious.
Huh?
It's delicious.
Good. I thought it was really a fun thing. Okay, now dessert, as I call it at our house. Do you want to hold the phone so we can do Mary Ann? She brought
It's already going, you just have to. Okay,
here's
So
hers,
Mary Ann brought a dessert?
I brought a dessert.
made with vegetables.
Made with vegetables.
Now, I'm not all fancy like Jan. So, I will show you what it looks like. But the recipe is here. It's called yellow squash. But you could make it like in cupcakes or, whatever. So I made little loaves. I made Chet an extra loaf so he could have that. Say thank you for being here. And it also comes with a little glaze that you're supposed to drizzle it on, but that would make it really hard to transport. So I didn't do that, but I did bring the knife and the spoon so we could drizzle if you wanted to. But I think I'll let Jan and her helpers cut this up and pass it out.
And here's our dessert plates. So you have 3 desserts,
Oh, okay.
all with vegetables.
So I'll let you and your helpers cut and pass out. But I have the recipe, and the squash is, I know I'm go behind Harvey. The squash is this yellow squash that's growing at the extension office. And it says in the recipe that you can also use zucchini or a combination of the two. But it's kind of like a light pound cake, and it's really flavorful as far as like light flavor, not heavy like a zucchini bread.
Does it have lemon in it?
Yes, it has lemon in it.
One cup of canola
Okay.
oil, wow.
Now, we have 2 other cakes, both chocolate. They both have hidden ingredients in them.
You want one better than
We'll get
Okay. Oh, wait. Mary Ann. It's sitting on your hand. I'm gonna put it on the Facebook. She was so involved in taping, she didn't notice the grasshopper. It was pretty big. You were just like. Sorry, I was laughing at you.
That's not a problem.
keep recording?
Yeah, I got it now. We're good.
So, Atticus, do you want to get the chocolate cakes and we'll cut them up?
Jan, I only find one problem with this soup.
What's that?
I hit the bottom of the bowl.
Guess what? If any more came, we'd be in big trouble because we ate it all. Did you cut? Here's another one.
I think
From around.
for those of you that didn't see, this is the squash in the cake, and the yellow squash bundt cake, and it's if you look to the second page, it's Southern Living. So if you just Google yellow squash bundt cake, that's what you'll come up with. Thank you, Harvey.
Hey Jane, can I ask you a question on that gazpacho soup? You didn't put on here, it looked like you put yellow squash in the gazpacho, but no?
That's cucumbers.
That's the cucumbers?
It's seedless.
Okay.
No,
It just looks like a squash when it's cut up.
Yeah, and it's peeled.
Okay.
So that I took the peel off the tomatoes and the
Yeah.
cucumbers. But it's crazy because the reason I did that is because cucumbers, when I make that cucumber punch, you can't, it plugs up the hole. So I just, if I have it, take the peel off of all cucumbers. Because sometimes they're just too bitter.
Wait, what do you want me to cut?
Okay, one needs to cut round and the other one needs to cut square. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I definitely need to get 2 of these cookbooks. Me too, it's good.
So what is this chocolate cake you're cutting?
They are 2 chocolate cakes made with different vegetables.
Is that recipe in this book?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can decide which is which.
Chocolate cake and hidden vegetables, is that one of them?
Nope.
No? Heartbeat chocolate cake?
No.
Sauerkraut chocolate cake.
One of them is that.
Sauerkraut chocolate cake.
That is good.
And
I
the-
have had that. I made that. It is very good.
The best chocolate zucchini cake.
There it is.
That's
Ding, ding,
Ding, ding.
ding. That's what I figured.
I need 2 of these. Do I have to go by? I guess I go by the extension office, right?
Yeah.
I need it.
Can you put it?
It's Yep. Gonna have to do it. You have one? You ever made one? I have my fishing license too, so no reason why I can't. I could probably drive my little mule over here. Not that much road.
You need a fishing license to go fishing at Chet's Pond?
What's that about the pond?
Do you need a fishing license to go fishing at your pond?
Oh, no fishing license necessary.
No one is on the check your hat.
I do welcome anybody, seriously, you got grandchildren or anybody likes to fish.
I might come.
I
fi-
welcome
I might
them.
come fishing over here.
Listen, I had some adults that come over here, well, I had some catfish, there's catfish that are that big.
Wow.
And this one couple in Houston, in Hempstead, they used to come up here, they'd sit right there on the end, they'd catch 2 big catfish, take them home, and they would eat on them for like a week. Unfortunately, her husband passed away and she quit coming, but they said, this is the best tasting catfish that I've ever eaten in my life. And 2 things about that pond.
Thank you.
Number 1, that pond
Okay, so here we have two kinds of chocolate cake and the yellow squash cake.
This is not rainwater, this is pumped in, I just filled it up for y'all yesterday.
And-
Filled it back up. I have to keep it.
Leslie, one of these is called chocolate cake with sauerkraut.
When we were dog training, we have to keep the level of water consistent.
Okay, so can you pull those up so we can show these on the video?
Keep it this level all the time. And then secondly, my wife, she loved coming out here and riding the cart around every day with a bucket of.
Okay, chocolate, the best chocolate zucchini cake.
And she had those fish
Okay.
where they would literally follow her all around that pond. So they would eat when she'd throw the food to them. So they've eaten nothing but protein since they've been in there.
And that one is sauerkraut
There's
chocolate
brim,
cake.
And then there's catfish.
And you want to show the cover of this book one more time? Thank you, ma'am. Vanna.
I stocked it when I first built it.
Junior Master Gardener Cookbook 2019, available for a donation of $10 at the Waller County Extension Office. And
they're absolutely gorgeous.
they all look
Every
really
once in a while you
good.
catch them swimming around the pond.
Carl, that is a huge piece of cake.
I think we're going to sign off here. Did you want to say something?
Thank you for coming.
This is our Waller County Master Gardener, Jan Swope, and two of her grandchildren. They're Junior Master Gardeners. And
Take a look-see around.
Chet allowed us to come to his house today. And it's a very nice outdoor pavilion by his ponds. And, oh, that was our punch bowl. And our great Junior Master Gardener helpers. And we look forward to having y'all maybe join us at the Master Gardener program in our intern class starts in January. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.